Hey y'all, today we are talking about imposter syndrome and self-doubt. Today, obviously I'm getting a little bit more with the cameras and I'm not so camera shy, but I just really want to be raw and authentic. I'm not even putting a thumbnail up here at this point no more. Like, I just really want to have a conversation and be myself 100%, be authentic and raw. And if you mess with it, you mess with it. And if you don't, you don't. I totally get it. I would not be offended, but I just really want to have a real conversation about imposter syndrome and how it impacts me as, being in that Black millennial area. And I feel like as a Black millennial, I always had to be overachiever, getting all these accolades, getting all these certifications. And baby, I am coursed out. When I say I am coursed out, like, it kills me of an idea of getting another degree, another certification. And I feel like when I get into spaces where they require so much of me, when I look around in my natural nature, I'm above everybody fucking there. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm smarter than y'all. Like, and that's not even trying to be arrogant, but that really be the truth. And so many times I get in these corporate spaces and I'm 5'11". I'm a pretty healthy girl, right? As you can see, I'm a healthy girl. And I have to shrink myself and do that stupid ass smirk all day long throughout the hallway to make people feel like I'm not a threat, to make other people feel like, hey, I'm not a threat to you or anyone here. I'm friendly, I'm bubbly, and I'm tired of that. I'm tired of code switching. That's up. The jig is up. You get what you get. Now, in that interview, so many times, I'm like, oh, I finessed them. I got in, and I be sitting there waiting for them to pull my card to figure out I really don't belong. But that's not even the truth. Like, I am learning so much about myself in terms of, like, my true value and who I am and my magicalness and other Black people that I may see in the workplace and their magicalness. And it's like, we should be the fucking managers here. We actually should be directors at this point, because when we talk about the processes, the innovation, our ideas, we have to suppress them because we don't want to feel like a threat to the corporate environment. So we have to play the go along, get along game. Shout out to Kwame Brown, because that's where everybody got that from. But yeah, so we talking about that today, girl. And I'm tired of it. And we're not doing this in Bridging the Gap. Like, we want to have professional businesses. We want to have a level of integrity in how we operate. But I don't think I need to compromise who I am in terms of, my culture, the things about me, my little quirks, whatever. Like, I'm not doing that, y'all. Like, I'm just in a space where it is what it is. You get what you get. And I'm not above being corrected and getting feedback and revisiting conversations where I could have said something, or, someone took it the wrong way, or I said so. I can apologize and I can do better in my action. But what I will not do is completely shrink myself for nobody. Like, I'm not doing that. And we're not doing that in Bridging the Gap, and I would never encourage that, girl. Like, yeah, so that's what we talking about today. Y'all know I got my notes. So let me get over here into the notes, girl. All right, so we're gonna hop into, I got mine sorted out in segments here. Just the cultural and social conditioning. Like, growing up, we're always told, be humble, be docile, be quiet, the whole modesty gig. It's like, the gig is up, baby. Like, we're not doing that. Like, we are taught to work twice as hard when we shouldn't even have to do that. Like, we be in spaces and rooms where, you have other races that come in with a level of audacity in them. And this is the joke among me and my mastermind group, right? We always be like, how we come in our businesses, we gonna act like white niggas with money. So it's like, how they come into the space and they confident, they audacious, they don't have no regret about how they showing up in the room. And that's where I'm at in my life. Like, I'm going to be confident and I'm going to think highly of myself, and I'm going to talk highly of myself, and I'm going to encourage the people that are around me or in my community to think of themselves highly as well too. Like, being modest and humble is not going to work. Like, people that have real empires are not walking around being docile and modest and I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna confront it. Like, there's a way to do things. You don't have to be aggressive and always have an opinion or always being negative per se, but you definitely shouldn't be walking around like your voice shouldn't be heard or your opinion should be heard. So instead of us going in these spaces and owning it like we definitely should, we just go in there and just try to like shrink, and I just don't like that. That's why I was like, I'm coming on today and I'm really talking that talk. Either subscribe or you don't at this point. But the bottom line is, like, we're not doing that, y'all. We're not, the imposter syndrome 2025 is out the door, because we're not imposters. We're very real. You know what I'm saying? And I want to talk about the professional and corporate struggles. Also, where before I put my 2 weeks in my last corporate role, I was the only black on the team, girl. Do you know how exhausting that was? Do you, like, it just got to the, my hands actually. It had got to the point where it was like, I can't do this. I cannot. The only black on my team, can you imagine what that was like? And then I would have my manager say things like, when I did start to engage and laugh because they were making jokes, it'd be like, hey, just keep in mind, don't get too funny, because the chats are monitored. And I'm like, well, damn, do you give that disclosure to everybody or just me? Because it's like, don't get too black. Don't get too blackity black. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So it was just like, it's a level of uncomfortableness, and they try to act like they're not privy to it at all. But the microaggressions and the micromanaging, girl, yeah, it was time to put that 2 weeks in. It was like, no way, Jose. And we're going to talk about, so we talked about the professional and corporate struggles, especially mine, where you're just like in a space where, like, okay, in corporate, right? If there's other black people, there's this unspoken rule among corporate blacks that we know we cannot congregate or sit up anywhere too frequently amongst each other, because that's considered being cliquey, non-productive. You'll have management come on, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, why aren't y'all working? Like, we are working and we're on designated breaks. But we just know in those spaces at work, we can't even congregate together. We can't even sit down and get to know each other and just be in that space, because there's always somebody watching you, trying to figure out what you're doing. So, like, even in those spaces, like, guys, we're not doing that. That's why we need to build our own businesses, because the gig is up. Like, we all are geniuses. We all are trailblazers. There's no reason at this point in life we need to be sitting up there code switching. We need to be sitting up there being uncomfortable. We have to meet up after work like that. We going to the Underground Railroad or something. Like, girl, like, we're not doing that, y'all. We're gonna build our own communities. We're gonna build our own businesses. And even if it's passion projects, we're gonna do that too. Like, we are no longer being humble and modest. We setting the trails on fire. But why? Because we're fucking trailblazers. That's why. So we're definitely not doing that. Now, we're going to talk about the overachiever trap, right? Mind you, I'm the oldest daughter, millennial. So you already know how I'm coming, right? So you can only imagine class president, SGA, what was I, valedictorian. Like, it was like I had to be president of every goddamn thing. I was president of the debate team. It wasn't only but 2 damn people on the debate team. Like, I've always been an overachiever, but the bus stops here, right? So we're not doing that. And sometimes I do get in a space where, like, and I could just really talk about myself. Like, people will see me and meet me, and they're like, oh my God, like, you're just so amazing. And I'll be like, well, I ain't got this yet, and I ain't got that yet. And I be really in my head feeling like a whole imposter. Like, they think I'm this thing and this girl. And it's like, but I don't have what I think that would make me that. But that's not true, y'all. Like, even me, I get in my head, but that's why I'm in my mastermind group. My ladies, we do that for each other. We lift each other up. And that is the same thing I want to extend to you guys in Bridging the Gap community. And let's get out of our heads, y'all. We deserve everything that we want. We deserve all the amazing things that people see in us. We deserve it all. And yeah, I just really feel like it's time for me to create a space for us millennials to really thrive in. I'm just like, damn, like, if all these trailblazers get together, what could we do? Like, we can just change this whole world. Y'all got to remember, NASA's first computers were black women. You know what I'm saying? And then when Tyler Perry released that, what was it? 6888? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that movie, like, those women in a matter of 90 days was able to do something so amazing. So it's like, if we get together, guys, and build a community on completely just really lifting each other up in our endeavors and our innovations and our visions and fully supporting that, this world is ours, y'all. Ain't no stopping us. I know in the imposter syndrome, sometimes we do feel like we're going to get exposed as a fraud. You can't expose me, baby. I'm in a space where I'm so comfortable in terms of, like, I'm okay with being a beginner. I'm okay with saying I don't know it all. I'm okay with saying I don't got it right. And there's nothing nobody can do to shame me about that, because, yeah. By the way, shame is such a low frequency. Like, we're not bringing that in the community. Like, there's no need to be shamed or embarrassed. Like, and I know some of you PhD girlies probably feel so uncomfortable being in a phase of, this is something new. I never did this before. I look so stupid. Like, girl, be okay with being a beginner, like, and a beginner again, and a beginner again, and a beginner again. So we definitely going to leave that fraud thing up. I definitely want you to realize you deserve everything that you want, because, just because. Like, you don't have to earn the greatness that God has for you. Like, you don't have to earn that. You don't have to perform to get the desires of your heart, because they just are, and they just is. Like, there's no way around it. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, you don't have to say, in order for me to be this, do this, and have this for the trajectory of my family, I have to overperform. Like, girl, ain't you tired? Us millennials is tired. I've been working since I was 14 years old, right? Yeah. Summer jobs. Yep. Summer jobs. Yeah. So we definitely gonna shift the mindset of earners, and we gotta learn that we deserve it just because. And we got to keep in mind, like, some of the greats like Kobe, he didn't sit around questioning whether or not he was good enough. And as much as y'all tried to say Kanye was crazy, one thing Kanye did was love Kanye. And just like Kanye loved him, I love me. And I want that for y'all too. I want y'all to love y'all too. And I'm really going to really press the horn on that, because that's really important. And we're going to reframe narratives. Instead of asking, why me? Why not me? Why shouldn't I have the car I want to drive? Why shouldn't my kids go to private school? Why shouldn't I do things for my family? Like, why shouldn't I? Like, girl, why not? Who cares what people, they gonna, if y'all paid attention to social media, you can be a person that create teddy bears for people with illnesses, and they will still find something negative to say. These people is gonna say it don't matter what you're doing. If you put your stuff on the internet, they're gonna talk, and you just gotta be okay with it, because at the end of the day, people are gonna talk. So we're just not gonna worry about what people have to say, and we're gonna focus a lot more on embodiment. And what I mean by that is being the person that already has it, right? And I know it's so far-fetched for a lot of people, especially when you're going through extreme situations, but who would you be if you woke up today and all your dreams came true? Like, everything that was a desire in your heart was true. You'll wake up, You'll be in a good mood. You'll be lighthearted. You'll make your bed. You'll open the windows. You will smile. You'll just be lighthearted and light energy. And sometimes in order to have that materialize in your life, you have to become it to experience it. Now, I'm not going to get too woo-woo on you, but embodiment is very important. You cannot have what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? So if you always focus on what you don't have, you're going to continue to perpetuate what you